In this lesson, what we're going to do is pull in some of the photography we want to use and start building our general layout. So first things first, what I typically do is I'll open up Safari or Chrome or whatever happens to be the browser of choice for that week, and I'll usually do a Google search. So in this case, we're just going to look for a band poster, and then I'll choose images up here on the top. So I just want to see all the images available, and you can see right away that there are a ton of really creative band posters, which is part of the reason why we're doing this in our first exercise. It's something fun. It's something that will teach you how to use brushes, textures, typography, photography, and use all these different pieces to create something fun that you enjoy. So what we're going to do right now is just briefly look at some different ideas that might be inspiring. And when I look at poster ideas or any idea for anything that I'm trying to research, I usually am looking at either fonts that inspire me, or I'm looking at color schemes that I like, or layout designs that I like. So for example, looking at this real quick, I like that it's not just straight horizontal text on this waterfront poster. It's got kind of a, not quite a 45-degree angle, but it's at an angle, which adds some visual interest. This Lincoln Park poster, I like the color, and I like that the guys are kind of cut out. So what I'm going to do is things that when I find something I like, I either do one of a couple things. I'll either right click, and I will save the image to like an ideas folder. So if I come in here and I'll make a new folder, and I'll just call it ideas, I'll hit save. Or what I can do is I can click and just drag an image straight over the Photoshop icon in my dock, hover until it comes up, hover until it comes back there, and then let go, and I dropped it right into my workspace. Now in Photoshop, the way you can scale things up, the shortcut is Command T or Control T on a PC. So the way you would find that, if you forget, it's up under here, Edit, and we're looking for Free Transform, and that shortcut right there is Command T. So what it does is it gives me these little handles that I can start to drag this up larger. And Photoshop will let you skew an image, right? So we want to keep it proportionate. So what we're going to do is hold down the Shift key, and now when I click and drag, it stays in the right perspective here. So when I get it where I want it, I can hit the Enter key, or I can hit this little check mark up here to finish my transform. And I'm just going to start building in a bunch of layers here into this poster file, just to start getting some ideas and things I can work with. So I'll come back over here to Safari, and let's just kind of see what else we've got here. Things that inspire me. This Mumford & Sons, I kind of like how they've got this illustrative instead of a photographic poster. I like the illustration behind it. So I'm going to right click, I'll save image as, and I'll throw it in that ideas folder so I can refer to it later. Usually I'd work one way or the other. I'd either save it into that folder, or I would click and drag and drop it right into Photoshop for me to work with later. And I let go too soon. Let me try that one more time. Click and drag, hold, bring it back. Okay, so we could spend a lot of time researching and grabbing a lot of things. So what's best practice, at least for me, is almost to literally set a timer for maybe 10 minutes. Otherwise, you can start to get overwhelmed with the possibilities and what you could do, and all of a sudden you lose your entire day just looking for images or just trying to find inspiration for different things. There's one I saw earlier. Oh, here it is. I really like this, I don't know, I just thought it was really cool. So I'm going to click on that, right click, save image as. I'll throw it in that folder so I can refer to it later if I need to. And in this case, I'm just going to throw it right into Photoshop. There we go. Command T, and then I'm holding down the Shift key, and I'm also holding the Alt key. By holding down the Alt key, let's see, if I just hold down the Shift key, it anchors it to the top left, but if I hold down the Alt key, it scales out from the center. So just, I don't know, it's just faster. It helps me scale it up faster. I'll hit Return, or actually in this case, my Enter key. Okay, and now you can see on the right, I've got my layers. I'm going to Shift click. So right now, layer 3 is selected. I'll hold down Shift, and I'll click down on layer 1, and it'll select everything in between. And then I'm going to hit this little folder icon down here. And what that's going to do is put it into a folder. I could have also hit Command G on a Mac or Control G on a PC. And now I've got my group, and I can double click on this, and I'll just give it a name. It's really good to keep your file organized. We'll call it Ideas. Okay? And then now's a really good time to save. So Command S, Control S on a PC. Always save your work. It should be like a nervous twitch that just happens so you don't lose anything. Alright, so the reasons why I like these. This blue color was inspiring. I also liked the, the organic nature of this is creative. This Mumford & Sons, again, I liked how the high contrast of this darker illustration against the white background. And then this Lincoln Park image here, I'm just going to drag this up a little bit so I can see it. I liked that they've got, if you look closer, the guy, so this blue triangle that kind of interacts, these layers merge together to kind of color them. And I think we're going to probably take that approach on this poster. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and turn off that ideas. And we're going to pretend you'll have this photo in your assets file that I'll provide for you. But I'm just going to drag this image. We're going to pretend like this is an artist that's coming to a venue here, and we've got to make a poster for him. You can find this image in your downloads, or this is on a website called pexels.com, so PEXELS.com. And he's right here, so what we could do is click on it, and then click free download. And it'll bring up this window. I could right click and then save image to downloads. Okay, so I've got that one, and then I've got a couple other photos that I found in pexels.com that were inspiring that might work for this project. We've got some guitars, and then we've got this soundboard here. So what I'm going to do with these, same deal. I'll right click, I'll save image to downloads. I'll click on this one, right click, save image to downloads. So I'm starting to gather all my assets. Okay. So we've brought him into our workspace, and now what we're going to do is, in the next lesson, we're going to cut him out or isolate this photo. So we'll crop him out, and that's one of the, between layers, using layers in Photoshop, and making really good selections. Those are the two probably most critical skills you'll learn in Photoshop, because once you master those, you can really do just about anything and composite anything together. So we're going to go ahead and shut this down for this lesson, and the next lesson we'll dive into making selections and starting to work with all of these assets we've started to collect.